Okay, guys, so welcome to the first extra lesson that we're doing via a webinar. Tonight, we're just briefly going to look at the following three concepts regarding Vraagwoorde, Voegwoorde, and STOMPI. Now, what we often find is, what I find as a teacher often, and I think you guys feel exactly the same way when it comes to Afrikaans, is that you don't actually know what the questions mean. And if you don't know what the questions mean, how possibly are you going to be able to answer the questions if you don't know what they mean? So what normally happens, and I see it on a regular basis, I see the comprehension test and I see you guys read through the comprehension test, and then you look at the questions and then you try and find the words that match the question, and then hopefully by some miracle it is going to be the right answer. So what we're going to do quickly now is we're going to go through Vraagwoorde, and we're actually going to look at the question words that your teachers will use when it comes to comprehensions and even when it comes to the taalkunde. So when we look at Vraagwoorde, it's so boring to just sit and listen to Vraagwoorde and me going to translate the English to the Afrikaans to the English, and it really does get boring. So what we're going to do is we are going to go and we are going to become Sherlock Holmes, and we are going to do a little bit of an investigation. So if we look at this, it's investigation time. Jan slaan vir Piet. Okay, Jan slaan vir Piet. And this has now come to your attention. Now, what we need to try and find out is what happened. So often what you need to do then in this situation is look for your question words to get to your answer. So the first question word is wat het gebeur. That wat, if you translate it directly, it's what happened. So in a question, wat het gebeur? Wat het gebeur? Jan het vir Piet geslaan. So what happened? Jan het Piet. Then we move over to wie. So in a question, you'll often get wie. That question directly translated is who. Wie het vir wie geslaan? Who het who? Jan het Piet. Guys, just confirm again. Volume is on and you guys can hear. I just have a request. Somebody can't hear me, and I just want to make sure you guys can still hear me. Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Lauren. All right. Then what we're looking at is, the next one we go to is hoekom. That's often a difficult thing, is hoekom. Hoekom het Jan hom geslaan? Directly translated, I know it's bad English and I do apologize for this, but if you do directly translated, it actually means how come. Hoekom het Jan hom geslaan? Why, how come did he hit him? All right. Then the next question is who? Who het Jan hom geslaan? How did Jan hit him? Or how did John hit him? Now, guys, often this one can be a little bit difficult because in Afrikaans, as in English, this could be also have two different meanings. How did he hit him? So did he hit him with his fist, or did he hit him with how hard did he hit him? So that you just need to sort of understand when it comes to the question. You just need to realize what type of how, of who the teacher is looking, what the teacher is looking for. So that is quite important. Then waar. Waar het Jan hom geslaan? Okay, where did John hit him? Once again, two different answers. Waar het Jan hom geslaan? Het hy hom in die gesig geslaan of het hy hom op die rugbyveld geslaan? So where did John hit him? Did he hit him in the face or did he hit him on the rugby field? Those, once again, are interchangeable, and you're going to need to sort of just pick up when you read your comprehension or when you do your taalvraag where those things come in. But when we go through STOMPI just now, I'll explain that to you. Wanneer het dit gebeur? When did it happen? Okay, so from that point of view, it's just trying to find out the time. Often when it comes to a comprehension, a teacher would want to know by the asking you question, wanneer, it's when they're looking for time words. They're looking for an event that happened in time. Was it in the morning? Was it in the afternoon? So when you see the question when or wanneer in Afrikaans, you know more or less that it is a time phrased question. So you can start looking for time when it comes to answering your comprehension. Okay, waarheen? Okay, waarheen was hulle op pad? Where to? Okay, this is a directional question. When you read that, you're going to need to find out that there's sort of a direction. Waarheen is where were they going? So when you're looking at and you get a question, waarheen, you need to start reading and looking for directional answers. Hulle was op pad na die snoepie toe. They were on the way to the tuck shop, and John picked up John's cash, and John just decided to hit him. So it's a waarheen, it's a directional question when it comes to waarheen and where to. So when you're looking at these question words, they give you a clue in what the teacher wants from you when it comes to the comprehension questions that they ask. So why did I just do the question words? Because basically, if you understand your question words, you can do STOMPI. So what we often see is that children get taught STOMPI and it's fantastic, but you actually have no clue. So you just following this methodical method to try and answer STOMPI, yet you actually don't know what is the subject in Afrikaans, what is the time in Afrikaans, what's the object in Afrikaans, what's the manner in Afrikaans, what's the place in Afrikaans, and what's the infinitive. The infinitive generally is the easy one to get because that's the te, and we generally know to shove that at the back, at the end of an Afrikaans sentence. But often what we get, and I'll show you guys a little bit later, often what we find with children that are not Afrikaans speaking children is that they often swap the verb and the subject around, and then the sentence doesn't make sense. So let's go and have a look at STOMPI in a little bit more detail. So we're all used to the word STOMPI, and for those that haven't been taught STOMPI yet, it's basically how to teach your Afrikaans word order, so that you, when you write your sentences, that you write it in exactly the right word order that what your teacher would like you to write. So the first thing we look at is the S in STOMPI, and that's your subject. How do we ascertain generally what the subject in the sentence is? You need to ask yourself the question wie. So wie, if I look at the sentence here, Tandeka speel elke dag haar dromme mooi in haar kamer. Wie speel haar dromme? Tandeka. So the subject, if you ask the question wie, then you're going to get your answer Tandeka, so you know who your subject would be in the sentence. Wie is the next one we're looking at is your verb one. Now, I always explain, the best way to explain a verb is in English and in Afrikaans is to say, can I? And in Afrikaans, kan ek. Can I kick? Yes, it's a verb. Kan ek skop? Ja, it's a werkwoord, it's a verb. Kan ek spring? Ja, ek kan spring. So that means spring is my werkwoord, which if translated in English, can I jump? Yes, the jump is a verb. Kan ek son? Can I sun? No. So it cannot be a verb. So often when you try and ascertain what the verb in a sentence is, just ask yourself, when you go through the sentence and you're unsure, just ask yourself the question, can I? And if your answer is yes, then it's generally a verb. Your next one is we're looking at time. So ask yourself the question, wanneer. We previously looked at the Vraagwoorde, wanneer. That's to find out the time. When is something happening? The answer there is elke dag. So elke dag would be the time word in the sentence. Then wat. What is your object? So we're looking at the sentence again. Tandeka speel elke dag haar dromme mooi in haar kamer. Haar dromme, her drums, is the what? in the sentence. So therefore, if you go through the sentence and you ask yourself the question, but or what, then you will generally find your object. Manner is how things are done. Okay, so that's why you have to ask yourself the question, who? So how is she playing her drums? Is she playing her drums badly and her ears are all bursting and it's horrible? No, she's playing her drums mooi, which means beautifully. So you ask yourself the question, how is she playing her drums? And your answer there is mooi, which gives you your manner. And then when we look at place, you ask yourself the question, waar? Where is she doing it? Waar doen sy dit? Sy doen it in haar kamer. So the answer there is where. So then you've now got your place. So if you go through the subject, so you ask yourself the question wie, you get your answer tandeka. Your verb, can I speel? Yes, I can speel. So that is my verb 1. Time, wanneer. When did this take place? Elke dag. So that is my time word. Object, what is she doing? She's playing her drums, haar dromme. Then manner, how is she playing her drums? She's playing her drums beautifully. Where is she playing her drums? She's playing her drums in her classroom, in her bedroom. So you then, by asking these question words, can ascertain when a teacher asks you, put the sentence in the correct word order, you put yourself and you ask yourself, wie, can I, wanneer, wat, hoe, waar? And you can answer those questions. Then you get to put the S, the V, the T, the O, the M, and the P on top of those words, and you put them into a sentence, and you will generally, 99.9%, you will have it 100, you will have it correct. The problem is, as you all know, Afrikaans is exactly like English. There are always exceptions to the rules, but very seldom will you find an exception if you ask these questions. Where it can become a little bit more difficult is when it goes into your tenses, so past tense and future tense, when you've got two verbs. And that's when it becomes a little bit more confusing. And that we will deal with in a future webinar when we'll look at the tenses and how that impacts STOMPI. Moving across then to an example. Again, die seun skryf daagliks sy werk netjies in sy boek om te presteer. So for those joining us now that are in the younger grades, that's quite a long sentence. That's more a grade 8, grade 9 sentence. But let's analyze that sentence in the way that by using the question words and see if we can ascertain which is our subject, which is our verb, time, object, manner, place, and infinitive. So my first question I ask is wie. So wie. If I look at that whole sentence, die seun is the wie. So that person, die seun is our subject. Wat kan jy? Wat kan jy? Kan jy daagliks? Nee, ek kan nie daagliks nie. I can't daily. Ek kan nie sy werk. No, I can't do that. Kan ek skryf? Ja, ek kan skryf. So that is my verb. That is my werkwoord. So I know and I can put a V above that. Wanneer gebeur dit? When is this happening? Okay. Wanneer gebeur dit? When is this happening? It happens daagliks, daily. So that means I've got my time word. All right. What is the seun doing? Wat doen hy? Hy doen sy werk. So that is the object. Hoe doen hy sy werk? Hy doen sy werk netjies, which means then we have got manner that we've now got in the sentence. And then waar doen hy dit? Hy doen it in sy book, the place. He does it in his book. And then of course, the nice favorite one that teachers like to put in is to give you the omte, which is your infinitive, but generally you take your omte and you go and put it at the end of the sentence, and you will have that sentence then 100% right, and you will have it in the correct word order. So what are the common mistakes that I've picked up with children when they answer word order for me? Is they generally put the verb in the wrong place. So they immediately see the word STOMPI and they see the S and they see the verb one. And what you do is you immediately think the verb one always has to go behind the subject. And that is wrong. That is wrong. The verb always goes after the first word order. So if I start the sentence with time, then we don't go time, subject, verb one. We go time, verb one, subject. So let's look at a wrong sentence when we get the verb in the wrong place. In die vakansie, ek het Durban toe gegaan. Okay? So let's analyze that sentence for a second and let's have a look at that. All right. In die vakansie. Wie? No, it can't be wie. All right. It can't be wie. So, kan ek in die vakansie? No, ek kan nie in die vakansie nie. All right. When is this happening? When is this happening? In die vakansie? Can I say when? Yes, in die vakansie. So, in die vakansie is my time word. All right. So, in essence, I'm actually starting this sentence with time. So, it's got to be time, verb one, subject, object, manner, place, infinitive. So if I look at the sentence, it should be reading, in die vakansie, time, het, verb one, ek Durban toe gegaan. All right. So we can look at that, in die vakansie, time, het, verb one, ek, subject, Durban, place, toe gegaan is your verb to. All right, let's look at the next sentence. Often we get them also confused. Om 8 uur, my familie het vertrek. All right, what did we do in that sentence once again? We went time, subject, verb, and then we did object, which is in Afrikaans a very wrong sentence. And it doesn't make sense to us when we mark it. So when you put that then in the direct, if you have to put it in the correct Afrikaans, you got to look, om 8 uur, time, all right? My familie, wie, my familie. So that means it's subject. Het, some of you may have dealt with this. Het is a verb in your past tense, and vertrek is to leave, which is also a verb. All right. So it's a past tense sentence. Om 8 uur het my familie vertrek. Starting once again with time, then your verb, then your subject, and then you put your verb to in your past tense sentence. Guys, when you're dealing with STOMPI, you got to realize that the STOMPI is interchangeable. In Afrikaans, you can start with place. You can start with manner. You can start with object. You can start with time. You can start with the subject. But you have to remember, regardless if you start with manner, place, object, time, subject, it is either, it has to have your first thing being the time, object, manner, place, or subject, then verb. And then you can write the rest of the sentence. So even if I start with manner, then you got to go manner, verb one. Then keep the order exactly the same. Don't change the order around. So it's manner, verb one, subject, time, object, place, verb two, infinitive. All right. So that's more or less, you have to grapple asking yourself those question words. Now you're going to have this webinar available for you when you study. Go back and go and try and memorize those question words. Know what those question words mean, and then apply those question words when it comes to STOMPI to ascertain when you're looking at a sentence, even when you're doing your past tense sentences, put your subject, time, object, manner, place, infinitive on top of it, and just write a small s, a small VB1, a small t, O, M, P, I, and you make sure you put that in the order. What is the biggest thing you have to remember? The verb always comes second. The verb can never come third, and the verb can never come first. It always comes second. So put that into your brain, melt it in. Don't know how you do to remember things, but that's one thing you have to remember. In Afrikaans, the verb always comes second in the sentence. Regardless if it starts with the subject, time, object, manner, place, the verb always comes second. All right. So that pretty much is the first section that we're going to be dealing with tonight. I know it could be a little bit of a brain overload and your brain's feeling like it's frying and you're listening to my voice all the time in this PowerPoint presentation. But what you need to realize is the importance of your question words. Because if you don't get your question words right, you're not going to know how to answer the rest of the paper. You're not going to know how to do your comprehension. And you're going to be basically looking for words that in the comprehension that looks the same as what's said in the question, and you're going to try and find the right answer. Go and memorize what your question words mean. If you know what your question words mean, then you're going to know how to answer the sentences. And then you can go, okay, great. Ma'am or sir wants me to find when something happened. Wanneer het het gebeur? I can go look in the passage and go try and find the time or the period when this happened, and I'm able to answer those questions. So I hope that part makes sense. Once again, go back, go listen go look back at the slides and try and remember these question words, and it's going to make your life a lot easier. Going over to my favorite part of Afrikaans, and that is we're going to be looking at Voegwoorde. It's not Vloekwoorde, it's not swear words, it's Voegwoorde. It's conjunctions, all right? And the best way for you to remember conjunctions is I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story. And this is quite a story for you to remember group 1, group 2, and group 3. Now, some of you may have heard the story before, and some of you may not have heard the story before. But when you look at Voegwoorde and you look at group 1 Voegwoorde, your conjunctions, what happens in group 1 is that Mrs. Conjunction and Mr. Verb, okay, it's not Mrs. Conjunction yet, it's still Miss Conjunction, and Mr. Verb go on a date, all right? If you go on a date with someone, mom and dad went on a date or somebody went on a date, their first date, all right, generally they go out for a lovely dinner and everybody returns to their own homes and nothing changes, all right? They had this lovely date, which we call the conjunction group 1. It goes in the middle of the sentence, but you take your first sentence, you put the conjunction with a comma, and then you put your second sentence, and you don't change the word order at all, all right? They just went on a date, nothing changes, Mr. Verb and Miss Conjunction go back to the same homes, and you put it into the sentence like that, all right? So, when you're looking at group 1, also remember the following: cat and a dog, all right? I know it sounds weird, but remember cat and dog. Because if you can remember, a cat meows, all right? That meow stands for maar, en, of, want, all right? So remember meow, because those are all group 1 conjunctions. And then there's dog. Now, directly translated into English, it's dog, okay? No, it sounds funny, but that's what it is. So, meow, maar, en, of, want, dog is in your group 1. So if you see them in brackets behind the teacher's asking you to please combine these two sentences with using the following conjunction, you can go write group 1 because they all fall in group 1, all right? There are others, as I've put on the right-hand side of the screen. There's the of, the nog, and the sowel as. But I'm not going to confuse you with those, all right? We at a later stage with extra lessons and that type of thing, we can then go into more of those details. But I don't want to confuse you now. I want you to remember meow, maar, en, of, want, and I want you to remember dog. So let's look at some examples. All right, an example for group 1. Ons is moeg, dit is laat. Please combine those two sentences with the word want. All right, so Miss Conjunction, aka want, in her lovely red, needs to go on a date. All right, but they just go on a date. So let's have a look at it. Ons is moeg, want dit is laat. Can you see that nothing in that sentences have changed? We've really just added a conjunction in the middle. All right? Hy is lief vir sokker, hy hardloop vinnig. Conjunction that we want to use here is the en. All right? So hy is lief vir sokker en hy hardloop vinnig. Can you guys see that nothing has changed? We really have just added the conjunction in the middle. That's all we have done. So nothing changes. We take sentence 1, we put the conjunction in the middle, and we write down the same sentence. Now, for those of you that are currently in grade 10, 11, and 12, I know this is a very simple sentence, all right? But sometimes your teachers just want to confuse you by making the sentences longer. Apply the basic principle, all right? Group 1 conjunction, no matter if the sentences are 5 lines long, if ma'am or sir wants you to combine it, just add with want, you just put the want in the middle and you rewrite the 2 sentences. But what you don't do, and what I often see happen as well, is often you write the second sentence first and the first sentence second and put the conjunction in. That's wrong. That means that the couples have changed homes, all right? And that's not right. It's just wrong, okay? You stay in your own homes, all right? You just add the conjunction into the middle, all right? Then we're looking at group 2, all right? So the date went very, very well and everybody's very happy. And guess what, guys? Now it's Mrs. Conjunction and Mr. Verb have now gotten married, okay? So what happens to a married couple? They move in together, right? They move in together. So when you're looking at group 2, the conjunction goes into the middle and the verb in the second sentence moves in directly next to the conjunction, all right? So let's look here. So Mrs. Conjunction and Mr. Verb from the second sentence moves in and they are now married with a comma in between. And I'll explain to you, the comma creates a problem when it comes to group 3, but I'll explain that to you guys later. So when we need to remember Voegwoorde or conjunctions, these are generally your D words, your words that start with the D's, okay? Dan, daarna, dus, daarom, okay? And so forth. But excludes words, the dog, doch, and the dat words, all right? So what I often say to the children that I teach and that type of thing is what I say to them is, guys, you know what meow dog is in the group 1, all right? So you know group 1. All your dat words is in group 3. So generally the words that you're not 100% sure of, if they start with a D and it's not a dog and a dat or dog and a dat, it's group 2. All those other words like nogtans, nietemin, anders, gevolglik, if it doesn't fit the dat and the meow dog, it's a group 2 word, all right? And you can with almost certainty say it's in group 2 and are going to apply the group 2 rules, okay? So let's have a look and see. So here's an example for group 2. Ek het hard probeer, ek het nie gewen nie. All right? So marriage happens. What in the second sentence is the verb? The second sentence verb is het. Okay? So we need to put them together. Ek het hard probeer, tog het ek nie gewen nie. Can you guys see under 2a that the verb and the conjunction are in the middle? Right? They go into the middle together, but they're separated by a comma. And we'll get back to that. Remember, they have to have a comma. All right, that's what you need to remember. That comma is important because it has an impact on group 3, and I will tell you about that a little bit later. Die man het die geld gesteel. Hy ontvlug die polisie. Daarom. Die man het die geld gesteel. Daarom ontvlug hy die polisie. All right? Once again, remember back to what we've just done earlier with STOMPI and your sentence constructions. Those question words come in every single thing that you do in Afrikaans. If you can ask those questions and answer them, you can in general answer the actual sentence construction. So you can know die man is a subject, het is a verb, die geld is an object, gesteel is verb 2. All right? In the second sentence, if we look at there, hy is your subject, ontvlug means escape, which is a verb, die polisie is your object. Okay? Ontvlug is my verb, very important. Second sentence, I have to move the verb in the second sentence, Mr. Verb in the second sentence, and I have to move him in next to Mrs. Conjunction in the middle. All right, so very important to remember, group 2 words, the verb in the second sentence moves in next to the conjunction into the middle. All right, so group 3. All right, I told you about the comma. It's not, the comma has always put a little bit of a separation in the relationship. And then it got really ugly and nasty. And in group 3, unfortunately, Mrs. Conjunction and Mr. Verb gets divorced. Okay? And it's not pretty. Because Mr. Verb in the second sentence wants to run away as far as he possibly can from Mrs. Conjunction. All right. So what does that mean? When you do group 3 conjunction, the verb in the second sentence goes to the end of the second sentence. He tries to get as far away as he possibly can from the conjunction. All right, let's have a look. So, as I spoke earlier, and I said that it's all your dat words, all right? Your normal dat, dat, totdat, nadat, sodat, voordat, all words with dat is group 3. Then, all your question words, okay, is also in group 3, okay? Plus your wat, okay, that's also in group 3, and then your relative pronouns. So if you can remember those, you can remember all your dat words, all your question words, and all your relative pronouns are in group 3, then what you will see is that you can now easily work out meow dog, group 1. All your D words, starting with D's and that, and it's not dat, and dog is group 2 words. Your dat words, your question words, and your relative pronouns are in group 3. All right. So when you get those sentences, it's no more, oh dear, I don't know what group, what am I going to do? I'm going to fall apart. I'm going to just leave this open. All right. No, you're going to take this on because you're going to remember dating, married, divorce. All right. So let's have a look at example. Ons is bly, dit is vakansie. All right. So let's have a look at that sentence, and we go and we look at that sentence and we say, second sentence, let's have a look. Dit is your subject, or is my verb, and vakansie is object. Okay, so we now know in the second sentence what is my verb. So we write the sentence, ons is bly. We put Mrs. Verb back into her home, omdat dit vakansie, and Mr. Verb is as far away as he can at the end of the sentence. All right. However, that being said, just remember grade 10, 11, and 12, the infinitive is always still at the end. All right. So he can't get as far away as the infinitive. Don't know what the infinitive did wrong to Mrs. Conjunction to get that far away, but he tries and he gets at least second as far as away as he possibly can. All right. Die dogtertjie huil Sy sny haar vinger raak. Alright? Wie sny haar vinger raak? Sy. So that is subject. Can I sny? Can I cut? Yes, I can cut. Okay? Haar vinger, is that an object? Yes, that's an object. And raak is where did she cut it? She cut her finger. Okay, so that's a place. All right? Or so when you're looking at that, sentence, what is my verb in that sentence? And that's sny. Okay, so it's the first verb, it's sny. So we write die dogtertjie huil. We put Mrs. conjunction in, na dat. Then we say sy haar vinger raak sny. Verb goes to the end of the sentence. All right. So those are just little small tips. Those are little small that's a little tale for you to try and remember your conjunctions. If you can remember that in group 1, it's meow, dog. And I'm going to go back there and we go look there in group 1, just to refresh your memory. Group 1, the verb and conjunction go on a date. All right. Nothing changes. The sentences stay exactly the same. You just put meow dog of nog sowel as in, and you move it into the middle, the maar en of want en toch. All right? And then you keep the second sentence exactly the same. If you're looking at your group 2, the verb and the conjunction gets married. All right? So what that means is the verb and the conjunction move in next to one another. And those are your D words. Your dan, daarna, dis, daar, all those words. And then if you can memorize these, nogtans, nietemin, anders, gevolglik. Those are group 2 words. What happens? Remember, the verb and the conjunction move in next to one another. And then the last one is group 3. The verb and the conjunction get a divorce. There was always a comma in between them, and they couldn't handle that. So Mr. Verb gave up, and Mrs. Conjunction gave up, and Mr. Verb moved up because of the comma. All right, to the end of the sentence. And those are all your dat words. Dat, omdat, sodat, totdat, nadat are all your dat words. Die wat, wie, terwijl, alhoewel, and sedert are other words. The higher you go up in the grades, you're going to be starting to use those. Those are often used by your teachers to test your knowledge and to see if you've actually gone on and studied for your test and that type of thing. So guys, it brings me to the end of the extra lesson. That's pretty much everything I have to share with you guys. I hope you found it valuable.